want and need. I gotta have you around. I really wanna throw you away, and now I just can't put you down. I didn't know you told me nobody asked you. Just let me be. You're everywhere I touch. I just hold your hand. Silent dust and ones and zeros leading me by the hand. You're everywhere I touch. I just hold your hand. Devil dressed in ones and zeros leading me by the hand.
It's interesting that it all kind of coalesced and where it's ended up, because I mean it all it's kind of crazy now that they have, like, you know, that the Smithereens are playing, like, can I say that?
Yes.
Yes,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
absolutely.
Say it.
I didn't know if I
Say
could,
it to
but,
the
like, you know,
millions.
it's gotten to this point where, like, now the Smithereens are playing, like, their festival on, you know, it's
September 5th.
you know, well, is it the fourth year or fifth year?
Fifth
Fifth
year.
year.
The fifth year. See, there we go. It's
Fifth
the
year.
fifth year, and it's kind of like the Field of Dreams thing. You know, if you build it, they will come, and I feel like they've done that.
This is Dennis Black, and welcome to the Black and Wyatt Records podcast. Please remember to hit the like and subscribe button, as this week host Mike McCarthy talks with Alan Couch, Adam Yancey, and Chris Swinson from the Sonny Wilsons, as well as producer and honorary member John Auer from the Posies. The group plays songs from their 2025 CD release titled Maybe, as well as sharing stories about Jody Stevens and, of course, Alex Chilton. Adam and Alan are putting together their 5th Memphis Power Pop Festival this year on September 5th at the Overton Park Shell. And now, here's the Sonny Wilsons with Favorite Spoon.
Cherry ice cream smile, smile so wide that you just don't even know. Her eyes bright and white. Let me tell you the story of my favorite spoon. Heart's big as the sky, the biggest love that has ever been. Her eyes bright and white, riding around in a blue Mercedes Benz. Favorite spoon, my favorite spoon, my favorite spoon. She's as bright as white, the biggest smile that you've ever seen. Shooting star at night. Let me tell you the story of my favorite spoon. Favorite spoon, my favorite spoon, my favorite spoon. Favorite spoon, my favorite spoon, my favorite
I worked with David Brookings at Sun in 2003, 4, 5, that period. And that's how I knew David.
What a good dude.
Um,
Phenomenal talent.
and, you know, you begin to slowly realize that wherever you grew up is important for some reason. Especially if you're growing up in the South, I would think.
Well, I was shocked how much it influenced that area between Liverpool, Macclesfield, Manchester, even Dublin. I mean, there's Memphis everywhere over there.
Hello?
Oh, that must be a wrong number.
I think that's the wrong number.
Well, maybe she wants to talk. Hold on.
All right, what number?
See, I knew this wouldn't go well.
Are y'all calling John? Is that who you're doing?
Maybe he should call us. So that's how he made a living as a senior citizen.
Is that?
Oh, what's going on now?
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording,
Okay, this isn't working out.
Hey, man.
Give me just a second.
Okay, yeah, we'll fix it first before we start.
Okay.
Yeah, I edit later, like months from now.
Oh no, that's great. As long as eventually it gets edited.
Where is
If you have a project that's coming up, then I'll use that as a deadline. How about that?
Yeah, I'll just say
We'll
John Hour live on Mars. I'll just say that. Like, so, how about that?
Well, we'll work it out. This is. I was telling these guys a minute ago. This is the most people we've ever had on a podcast. And of course, we'll never do this again. No, I'm kidding.
Broken.
Yeah.
Well, we're talking about the Civil War,
Yeah,
which somehow leads to power pop. I know it does.
oddly, it did more so than I thought.
Rock and roll is Southern. Thereby, all rock and roll has a Southern root.
Well, it's Southern and it's African, and it's actually part Irish too, and part
Scottish.
English and Scottish.
Yeah.
The connection that
Is
we
John
have,
calling? Are we going to have any long distance charges? When we call a power popper, it seems like we'd be doing it in an analog collect call kind of way. Collect call to John Hour. Will you accept the charges, please?
This is the Shelby County Correctional
Facility.
Facility.
You
Will you
accept the
the
charges.
charges?
Well, we're recording.
Not even time to be. All right. So where did you grow up?
Well, I didn't grow up, and that's the problem.
I will ask the question. Engineering.
There you go. All right. Well, this is Mike, and I'm talking. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you, Clem Fandango.
All right. Adam, can speak.
I can speak just as fine and clearly as this day.
Yeah.
I say, boy, I can hear your voice.
All right.
Sounds like you might have sung a few power pop songs. Boy.
Oh my God! I walked into a Foghorn Leghorn
Convention. That ball's about to
Come here, boy.
There, Belvedere.
You get Warner Brothers to produce your next record. Yeah.
There you go.
All right, we can hear. Perfect.
Okay, well, good. Well, unfortunately we're out of time. So thanks for coming. Thanks for coming by, and John, it would have been great to have talked to you, but it's almost
It's been
time
a
for the
thrill,
public.
guys. It's been a dream realized for me. So, yeah.
This is really
proving that more is less sometimes, and less is more. So
I started this session, not knowing anything about the Sonny Wilsons, but now you're my favorite band.
and we have
Well, anyway, okay, we're rolling, and this is all happening. It's all happening, man. It's Chris. Thank you for putting all this together. It's a good
I think
thing.
it made it more complicated than it needed to be.
For a moment, your position as bass player was so tenuous. I could feel it in the room.
Oh, yeah.
which
But
is
anyway.
good because he doesn't actually play the bass in the band. So
Oh, what does he do?
Yeah. he's a jack of all trades, really. I mean, from glockenspiel to tuba to vocals. He's a guitarist, really. And I think you do a fair amount of the leads too, don't you, Chris, and sing?
Well,
Is that right?
I do a bunch of singing, not necessarily lead, but yeah, I do a bunch. I sing on everything pretty much.
Don't
It's
make that
basically
noise on
a
the table.
three-fold lead vocalist band.
You ever record with a dining room table, John?
I vowed never to. I worked with a dining room table once, and I vowed never to work with a dining room table ever again after that experience. To be honest, I'm breaking my own rule here,
No, but
but I'm happy to because of the company involved and the affinity and affection I have for these gentlemen. So, it's got nice getting to make your acquaintance. I'm John, by the way, and I'm sure I thought we'd met before somehow in many of my Memphis travels and shenanigans, but we haven't met before. Is that the case?
Wouldn't I need a backstage pass to meet you?
Well, I don't know about that, because I figured somehow we might have like bumped into each other at least at one of the many shows in like even have you been to some of the Memphis Power Pop Festival shows at this point?
Well, yes, and just let me quickly say real quick, now that we're rolling, this is the Black and White Records podcast, isn't it, Dennis? I'm sitting over here with Dennis Black of Black and White Records. John, I don't know if you can see him on the feed.
Hi, Dennis. You're actually out of frame.
I feel like
nice to see you.
I feel like we're like sort of in an Apollo 11 situation here, where we've got to just be real careful if we want to get this guy back home, or maybe we're in space. I'm not sure. Anyway, Adam, thank you for being here.
Happy to be here.
Alan over here.
Thank you, guys.
Chris, just wanted to introduce everybody real quick. We're going to talk about the Sonny Wilsons more than anything, of course, right? And John, you're John Auer from the Posies and God knows what else. I've been doing like a crash course on all you guys based on however much bandwidth I have, and with my own projects and poverty-centered work that I do. Back to your point.
So you're a musician? No, I'm just kidding.
No. Well, the very first record that Black and Wyatt put out was a band that I wrote songs for called Fingers Like Saturn. Just as sort of a way of getting back at everyone, I'll make sure all of you have a copy of that. When you were getting with Chilton to reform Big Star, I was making my first low-budget movies in Memphis. I saw you guys at the Omni New Daisy, 94, 95.
Good Lord, yeah, that was
so
1994. I was just having to hunt around and find some tracks from that. So it's, actually, I just saw some clips from that and was reminded of what a good time that was. And, also what a completely other lifetime that was for actually everybody involved here on this podcast, I'm sure. But just the world was a completely different place. But it's nice. There's a great document of it that got released. There's a film version of it, and there's a record. And I'm glad, some of those things you wish weren't documented. You know what I mean? So, I'm glad that one was.
I think that's the infamous show where Chilton actually bought a scalp ticket out front of the New Daisy.
I hadn't heard that one. See, I'm learning so much already about myself and the periphery. So this is great. I hadn't heard that one. That's a good one. Wow.
Do you know Misty White?
I do recall, but I'm not sure the whole story. So I do. The name is very familiar.
Well, Misty White, she lives in France now, but I don't think she would mind me saying that her Alex Chilton obsession was way, way deep. And I think I probably heard that story from her because only she would know something like that. Because she was probably lingering or loitering around out front on Beale Street when Alex was there and thought it would be funny to buy a ticket from somebody.
That's pretty awesome. It sounds like something you do. So we'll just run with that as being completely factual.
How did you meet these guys?
I have a funny feeling. I mean, honestly, we've probably crossed paths, in the past. But I mean, it's funny. Of all the people that are actually in the group currently, I actually knew Chris Swenson, the first that I can actually recall. But Chris wasn't actually a member of the Sonny Wilsons, nor was he the person that approached me initially, because the Sonny Wilsons was more of a, as I recollect, it was the start of a project. It was the seed kind of, that was planted by the two gentlemen sitting closer to you, by, Adam Yancey and Alan Couch. And I did meet, most famously, I probably met Alan when Alan, I want to say in 2018, was it 2018, Alan?
It was.
Alan decided to take advantage of an offer that we had when we were doing a Posies tour, and it was that you could pay us some money and you could be a Posy for a night and come play a couple songs with us. It was one of those kind of, I guess you call it a fan experience in a way. Is that right? I mean, one of those kind of things. But I think we did Posey's Solar Sister together. And we had a really nice time. And also before that, though, I had just had a nice time. I remember sitting around, I think just before the show, changing my guitar strings at Lafayette's, in Memphis, which of course is kind of a legendary spot for a number of reasons, obviously the Big Star connections. But this is where this all occurred, was at Lafayette's. So it was kind of poetic. And I don't know, I just had a nice time kind of shooting the breeze with Mr. Couch, and you could say that one thing kind of led to another, and I mean, there's more to it, of course.
Well, we've got hours. Go ahead.
Well, no, yeah, there you go. But I mean, there's been some involvement. Like Alan ended up working on a couple Big Stars third shows, yada yada yada, and helping out. But really what started the ball rolling with the Sonny Wilsons, as far as I can recollect, was Alan sent me a song and wanted an opinion about it. And like it kind of turned into kind of a, I don't know, a consultant kind of role in a way, like in terms of writing songs. And then it kind of just morphed into making a record together, really. I mean, I was just into the material. I thought, wow, these are really good songs. Maybe, have you got any more, you know? And that turned into, I don't know when the desire or when the seed, and maybe you could ask Alan and Adam this, when that decided, you know, when the moment was for them that they really wanted to turn it into making a record.
To back up a little bit, as John mentioned, I was helping out with a Big Star Third show, doing some tech work and loaning some of my equipment. And after the show, I was, you know, just gathering everything up on the stage, and Adam was at the show, and he came up to me and was like, you know, what the hell are you doing up there? And we're just chatting away. He goes, you know, I've always wanted to do a power pop festival and start a power pop band and write original songs. And standing on the stage at Crosstown, well, why don't we do it? Let's just do it. And that really developed pretty quick. I mean, that was, I think, December of 19. God, by January of 20, we had a lineup. By March, we had a venue.
Got a promoter.
Yeah, but
A very good one.
but we also had something else happen in March of 2020
Yeah.
that you may remember, and that kind of, you know, put a pause on everything. We used that time to start writing some songs. I had one that I'd been fooling around with and played it for Adam. He wrote the lyrics and put a melody to it, and we recorded, you know, just a rough demo and sent it to John. As he said, the idea was, hey, we've got nothing else going on. Nobody has anything going on. Let's shoot him some work, you know, and get his opinion. Somebody we respect, and why not?
And I heard a lot of musicians say they were depressed during that period and couldn't do anything, but that wasn't true for me, and I'm glad it wasn't true for you guys, because to me it was like a big open space where you could just sit down and act like it's the 19th century or something all over again.
We did have some time, and but you know, the intention was, let's just run this song by John and see what he thinks.
But you guys weren't a band then.
No, it was just the
An
two
idea.
of us. You know, much to our pleasant surprise, John liked it, and as he said, what else you got? And at the time, we had nothing, so.
Did you lie and say, oh, well, we've got like a...
No, I mean,
So we'll come up with
it's
something
like-
else.
but we just started working on stuff and had a pretty prolific, you know, run of songwriting there. And as we kept feeding him to him, I think John was the first one that suggested, why don't we make an album with this, and I'll produce it and mix it. And we were like, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great idea.
Just things I'd never thought I would experience, or words I would hear from somebody like John. And John's very humble, but, you know, I know this is a podcast. My right hand is down low representing us, and John's way up here with my left hand. And so it was.
Where's Chris Swenson on that scale?
He's not there yet. He's not entered into our orbit. But
we're a long way from Swenson.
we're going to
here.
scale Swenson before this is
the
over.
next album, Long Way from
It's a
Swenson?
good thing
Oh,
Chris
Lord.
isn't here right now.
Yeah, scaling Swenson.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
I'm just not in the frame, that's all.
Right. I don't think he really is here, but he's here. He's over there monitoring every single
Am
syllable.
I ever really here?
Chris is always with us, always, all the time. Let's face it.
Well, and so we, you know, just started putting songs together. We'd send them to John. He would give us feedback. He'd add, I think your phrase is bits and bobs.
And if this had been a normal situation without COVID, what would have been the likely scenario?
I don't know.
It would happen faster.
It came
It would
in,
have happened faster.
once the writing started, it came in pretty hot and heavy. And I don't know that COVID would have affected that, because, you know, you're an artist. When you get inspiration, it comes out.
I haven't had any.
I mean, I had 7 kind of pieced together.
So y'all, when you
I
say
didn't.
collaborating, what do you mean? Music versus lyrics, or
No.
or-
It's all for this one recording.
okay,
I mean, Al will look up a song. He'll put a cape on it, and I'll tell him I can't sing to it.
all right.
And then we'll argue about it for a little bit, and then we'll bend it, and we'll make it and smash it. And then what we came up with last week was a prime example of how we do things, and it's, you know, it works.
If I've got an idea, I'll record all the instrumental parts at home and then send it to him. I think in the one we did last week, I actually had
already
lyrics,
go with that one.
but I can't sing to save my life. So Mr. Yancey's got to come in and
good.
And had y'all played together beforehand?
oh yeah. So my roommate and Adam knew each other growing up. You probably related to him.
2 generations.
My college
back.
roommate.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going back.
Martin Michaels, you don't know.
Oh gosh, almost 40 years now. And my roommate wanted to put together a band for a one-off frat party show. 88 or 89.
88. It was 88.
I had played drums, but I had just bought a guitar at a pawn shop and was badly teaching myself how to play. And Martin recognized we need some help in the band. And he called up Adam, who could not only play guitar really well, but could sing. And so we played the show, and it was a lot of fun, and then that was it.
Where was the show?
At Ole Miss, where we went to
That's Sigma New
college.
House.
Yeah. Ooh.
So you guys are from Mississippi?
Well,
Yes. Well, Adam's got
I'm from Tennessee.
dual citizenship.
Yeah, I've
Well,
got dual
because I don't know where you guys are from or any of that.
I live in Hernando.
Okay.
I'm originally from Somerville, Tennessee, which is just you got stone's throw across the Mississippi line.
I know all of Oakland and stuff.
Oakland and then
Yeah.
So I'm from Fayette County.
My girlfriend teaches
Yeah.
in Oakland.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we met in college. Adam kept playing. Adam was playing before he met us, and he kept doing that. I kept going to school. Adam kept going to school, but after that, we'd keep up with each other, but there was not a lot going on.
Now you were in school in Oxford.
Yes.
Yeah, we went to Ole Miss
Do
together.
you guys remember a comic book store that was briefly opened right there?
Yes,
And that was
I
my
do.
friend Eric Page, who ran Hey Kids Comics.
Yes.
And so we'd go down to Oxford and visit Eric at the comic book store. And was it the year before that the DBs opened for REM?
That was
Yeah.
87.
87.
I saw that
87.
at the
Yeah.
Tad Pad.
Yeah. We were there for that.
And so, like I said, we'd keep up. I think went to each other's weddings.
The first wedding.
Yeah. Well,
He married my second wife.
oh yeah, that's right. I did
The better
You
officiate.
married your second
I
wife?
officiated.
Oh, sorry.
He officiated. I'm sorry, he officiated.
Okay.
But then playing with John at Lafayette's, the connection we made at the Big Star show, that just got it rolling. So any talk of working together, putting a band together, writing songs together, that did not occur until relatively recently in the timeline.
John, over to you. You recognized not only were these guys from Memphis, but they had something to say. They had pop hooks. They had obviously taken in through osmosis something that was key to the scene here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of the simplest way to explain it from my perspective, because to me the whole thing kind of just evolved. It's bizarre to even think that it's 2026 and to think about how long ago we all met each other and started doing stuff together, but it all evolved very, organically from my perspective. Like, it really did just start with some ideas and like, hey, let's try some things. And then, when it became a kind of a recording project, it was when it was more like a lot of more material got presented and we started deciding what was, maybe going to become songs and things like that together. For me, it's like I wanted to make sure, not knowing these guys as well as I do now, which I know them, I feel like I know them very well. I mean, they're, some good friends of mine now, which has been a wonderful, benefit of all of this too, of us making the music together, as we got to hang out and do some really cool stuff together. It wasn't like it was a band who was just beginning, like in their teens, who wanted to make their first record. Like some guys, I think I gave Alan and Adam kind of the joke for their bio, which is like a judge and a pilot walk into a bar and decide they want to start a power pop band. But really, it was kind of like that. And I just remember, getting asked a lot of questions like, "What do you think? Do you think it would work if we did this pop fest? And and what do you think of these songs?" And then
And you said, as long as you don't work with Chris Swinson, everything should be okay.
yeah, well, that that's always a given. I think everybody already knows that everywhere in the world.
Chris, we
But
love you.
I feel like what happened with this is that there were some things they had that were complete, and there were some things also that I was like, hey, if you don't finish this one, maybe I could take. Like, there's a couple songs I helped co-write on the record too, and there's even a couple.
That's a whole additional blowing of your mind.
There's a couple. There's a
I
couple
will
I
tell
ended
that.
up
Like a dream come true.
singing on this record too. Like, and it's weird. I don't think it will ever happen again like this, because it was just the way that we made this record. Because there wasn't a band. It was really the three of us were the band. I mean, almost everything you hear on the record was the noises were made by the three of us. Alan, Adam and myself. And then Chris does play a little bit on the record, but he was finding out about the group because we were making this record, and I think Chris was like, "Wow, this is actually really cool stuff." And I was just really impressed with the songs, like the basic idea for Maybe, and there was things like Miss Kinetic and the Art of Letting Go, but there was also things like there's a song called Desiree, that was presented to me, which
That was the first.
I think the final recording, all I did was I added a little intro and I added a little outro pretty much to it. Like I made a little instrumental thing I heard in my head. I heard maybe you could continue the song because they just stopped it, and maybe one little tiny melody thing at the end, but the rest of it was like, I was like, wow, this song is, this is not your average composition here. I was like, so for me, I guess what I'm trying to say is that it didn't feel like some vanity thing where like these guys were just like, hey, we finally got to wanting to make a record. I think they actually had something to say, and they had a vibe. These two are, as much as they have in common, they're also very opposite in terms of like, personalities in a good way.
I was going to say right now, let's take a break and listen to Desiree and come back.
That sounds good.
Dear Desiree, I don't know what to say, well, it's only camouflage. It's just what I do to be next to you, well, it's just a big mirage. And I just don't say what you don't say in me, and I don't want it to end. It's just what I do to be next to you, so I guess I'll just pretend. Dreaming of I spend the night and day. Hanging out and all the things we'd say today. What do you say, Desiree? Dear Desiree, well there's something else I just want to say to you. I dream of the day when you can say that you love me too. But until then, I guess I pretend to only be a friend. But it's not true, oh, what can I do? Why don't you see me as I see you? Dreaming of I'll spend the night and day. You and I, hanging out and all the things we'd say today. What do you say, Desiree?
Desiree by the Sonny Wilsons. John, I'm sorry I interrupted you. Did you have any other thoughts?
For someone to lead with that when they're presenting themselves to me for the first time, I was like, wow, again, it wasn't just like your average composition. It wasn't just like a few chords here and some fun. It was actually kind of, I don't know how to describe it. There was a complexity to it, and it intrigued me, and I wanted to hear more. And that's when I think, like, I want to say we got into other songs like The Art of Letting Go. I remember I do remember Alan sending me the lyrics to that, or just maybe having a discussion about, what are things to write songs about, or it just became a game of inspiration. I think it's not a straight up 100% pure power pop record. There's also some left of center excursions, and there's some moodier, darker stuff too. I wish more people would take the time to actually really get into it.
Well, what did you guys think about Desiree as far? Did you present the arrangement as it was?
Of all the songs, that is the only one that I had actually kind of kicked around over the years.
Well, that was a song from an earlier song, was it not?
Yeah, Mike, of course you know
Well,
my
the lyrics
sister.
were,
I
but
don't
the
know if
music-
you know
musically.
my younger brother, Andrew. Andrew's an incredibly talented musician, and gosh, 15 years ago, he wanted to make an album of his original songs, and I brought what became Desiree, the music, and he took it and turned it into this slow, almost blues ballad, and then nothing ever became of that, and so when it was mine again, I turned it back into what I'd always wanted it to be. So I had the working bits and pieces. When we started talking about this, I think I had some studio equipment and I had made kind of this rough demo of it. And then Adam started contributing the melody, and he wrote the lyrics for it. Then we really started spending some money on
You know,
getting
said,
it
hey man, this is really working. So
on a better home studio.
several thousands and thousands and thousands
Yeah.
and thousands of dollars later, we've got everything ready to go.
Yeah, so we've got a pretty nice home studio
That's how it works.
set up. Yeah, they suck you in every time.
Well, did you use any of the tracks from the home recording studios presented to John, or did you start from scratch?
Yeah,
in the
no,
project?
we worked up a fairly decent demo. John, I think the first one that I sent to you, we didn't even have Adam's lyrics.
I recall hearing it with the lyrics personally,
Okay.
but I also remember you sending me ones and zeros.
Yeah.
And then The Art of Letting Go, I remember having a discussion. Those are the three that I remember
Yeah.
kind of off the bat. There was songs like Quicksand, which is kind of an interesting example of something where,
That is a
the
complete departure.
song was there, well, but it's the lyrics are there. It's still the same chords, but I heard it like a much different presentation and a different beat and feel. And because the original was, as I recall, was kind of like almost like a ragtag kind of end of the world as we know it, kind of fast,
Yes,
kind of.
absolutely. It's exactly what it was written for. Boz. It was written with him. It was written with him in mind.
Oh, my God, we
for
got to
another
Boz
band,
before we got to
for
Chris.
A complete other band.
I'm trying to play some songs here because you're talking about a lot of titles. Can we play Quicksand real quick?
Absolutely.
Play it.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah, and Quicksand's interesting because it's, we'll talk about it afterwards. Play the song. That's a good idea.
Quicksand, I thought we'd all
was Quicksand. Go ahead, John. You had some thoughts about Quicksand.
Well, yeah,
as a song.
hearing it now, it kind of turned into kind of just a groovy sing-along where it didn't, it's the same song. I mean, it has the same bones, but it's just like these were squeezed into different clothing or something like that.
But it was your opinion. It was your opinion to produce it in that way.
I know it might seem crazy, but if you just bear with me here, can we try just giving this like a more solid, just straight ahead beat and really working that main hook in it? And
do you think that the evolution of power pop, as it transcends down through British Invasion or Badfinger, Big Star, Chris Bell, going into the Replacements? I mean, that's kind of the Replacements are my favorite band. They're the band of my generation, so naturally that's where I steer toward. And of course they have a Memphis connection. But do you think that what you guys are trying to do is along that lineage and not along the REM, Athens, that lineage, which is not, is that considered as much of an influence on what we would consider power pop?
They were a huge influence on my music.
Well, I listened to REM in the day religiously. I saw them every time they played Memphis, but I still was a Replacements kind of guy.
the power pop thing for me is a weird one because I feel like power pop applies to songs more than it does like entire bands. You know, because you could certainly say "Stand" by REM as a power pop song. I think, something like that, and you could maybe say "Bastards of the Young" by Replacements. That could be a power pop song if it was played. You know, you could call it power pop if it had like 12-string guitars on it. But since he sounds so raggedy and more on edge, I think people forget that it's got a power pop kind of. It's just a pop song. So I don't know. I find it hard to put people in categories like that. Like I don't even think Big Star is a power pop band. So I think they have power pop songs.
Right.
If anybody who calls Big Star a power pop band has never heard Big Star's Third, it's like there's just
sure.
The Beatles have songs that were power pop songs, and then they have songs that were completely not. So
I think the earlier you go back, you get more of an R&B influence into the pop vernacular, and the further you get away from that, the less is true.
That can be. I think it all comes down to whether something is. It's not so much about being power pop for me. It's all about the songs. For me, it's all about whether a song is memorable, has a good hook. You makes you want to sing along with it. That's the definition almost of a pop song in a way. I think and then if you put a certain window dressing on it, you could put it in the power pop category. But that could apply to so many bands that no one would ever call power pop. I mean, no one ever calls Green Day power pop, or they call them a punk band, or The Clash, or The Clash.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they had some of the greatest power pop songs. I mean, Train in Vain is a power pop song, but they were always called a punk band because that's how they were promoted. Husker Du had some of the best power pop songs ever, but they always get called a punk band too because they were on SST. I mean, no one calls the Replacements a power pop band, really.
No.
You know what I mean? They don't call, like, they would never lump them in with Badfinger, but I see where you're going with that. They were one of my favorite bands too. Actually, the Posies we did like half of the All Shook Down. We opened for the Replacements back in the day. We did half of their U.S. tour for that record, and I was a massive Paul Westerberg fan as far as the songs, and he just wrote great songs.
There's a certain amount of drunken energy or anger, I suppose, that is related to punk that falls into the Replacements. They don't want to be stereotyped as anything, but when you heard these guys' arrangements or their first songs, you obviously saw that there was lots of room for genre-defying what the record was going to be.
Yes, which is why I was attracted to it, because I honestly don't think I would want to make like a totally straight ahead where every song is like the basic bass, drums, guitar. Like for me, it's good to have an extra. I'm more into fusion cuisine. You know what I mean? I love a good hamburger, and there's a great pizza, but I don't want to eat it all the time. I want some variety in my life personally, and I think that's what these guys delivered. I mean, there's a depth beyond just being. I think power pop for me, unfortunately, often implies less depth than is in a record. Because some people want to say, well, it's just about hooks, and they're not. It's just fun, and yeah, there's some of that in this record too. But if you go deeper, you're going to find there's some great buried treasure in there. And I just hope people will hear this record and actually, they'll hear the things that are catchy right off the bat, but.
Well, John, this podcast reaches millions of people, so this is going to be.
That's why I'm doing it. So,
I
that's
thank
the only
you.
reason I'm doing it.
So, what song on this record best represents a deviation from the genre, like the one that stands out, and then we're still going to play some more tunes anyway.
Ooh, The Way We Dance probably is the
Yeah,
biggest
The Way
departure
We
from the whole
Dance.
thing.
The
The Way We
closer?
Dance is
Yeah, the last track on the record.
Yeah, it's I don't know what that is. It's actually my favorite song on the album
one of mine too.
for weird reasons. It's one that we were in the midst of cranking out all this material, and if we listed who originated what song, it'd be pretty easy to figure out who was the author. If it's under 2.5 minutes, it's Adam. You know?
Oh, yeah, perfect time.
If it's more experimental, or that's me.
I've made a stupid note here.
Okay.
Don't hate me for any of this, okay? It's just my first impressions.
I hate The Way We Dance. Is that what you're
Well,
saying?
no. No, The Way We Dance, I wrote, it's a waltz if the Beach Boys were doing grunge.
Okay,
I'll
I'll take that.
Pretty good.
But
That's a very good description, actually.
Very
we've
good
been
description.
putting out all these 4 to the 4
Yeah,
kind
right.
of songs,
Yeah,
and I just decided I'm going to write a waltz.
So it hurt the way this world, the way you know, just like the rain, the way we play on God to shame, and oh how we choose the way this is the way we dance. Pretty soon you step on some shoes. The way we move and break the rules. The way we This is the way we dance. The way we This is the way we dance. Oh, this is the way we dance.
And we're back, and
We're back.
we're
This is
driving you to
back.
drink, John. Are we driving you to drink, or just have a hamburger?
Well, I had to pound this when no one was looking. I have an endorsement with Maison Perrier. No, you can cut that out.
Okay, referring to The Way We Dance. Okay.
I wrote and recorded the demo, and this is one of those songs. I think when John got it, he clipped the bridge in half and maybe did one little tweak to the outro, but the demo is pretty close to what the finished product was. And I had it written and recorded in about 36 hours. And I was so excited that I just insisted that Adam, come listen to this and come up with something. And he did. I mean,
36 hours.
He was the next day. I mean, he kind of made up nonsense filler, lyrics just to give it some picture of what it was going to be.
I think here, we put real life experience into the music that we heard. It's basically the way even Miss Kinetic was like. Well, I just started singing this. This is a waltz. It's a dance. It's not just any dance. It's the way you and I dance. It may not be the way everybody else's dance, and it may be the right dance, but you may want to dance another way, and I may want to dance this way. But if we're going to do it together, this is the way you and I do it.
Yeah, it's clearly
and that's what
a relationship,
like. And not unless it's a masculine or feminine relationship. It's about just a connection between two things.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, man, this is the way we dance.
Unless it's the way we square dance, and then it's a whole bunch of people.
Well, we dance around, so this is
that's probably not a waltz.
That's not a waltz.
Well, it was actually originally called The Way We Moonwalk, I believe.
The Way We Moonwalk, yes.
Yeah, I thought, as a producer, I was like, that was a little unwieldy. No, from my perspective, Alan, he did have this great demo, but then, of course, Adam's part of that is that he put a melody, I believe, on top of it, right? So that's part of the music. We had this great instrumental, but the vibe was there. And so much so that when we went to track it, we ended up doing a great 3-day session at Ardent in studios in Memphis to record all the drums. I believe we actually tracked to the demo in the studio because we're like, well, this has the vibe. Like we tried doing it, the three of us. Well, Alan was playing drums. We tried playing it like with a scratch guitar and vocal, but we actually said, you know what, the vibe is all about this demo, and that went for the vocals too. Because I think there's even some parts of the demo vocal I was like, this is cool, and it fits the song. So in the end, they made the final cut, the final mix. And also it's a long song and there's lots of layers. So my goodness, we put some work on it for real.
I kept sending John parts. And
so you knew it was going to be the title that ended the record?
When you say ended, that sounds so ominous. But
yeah, well, I don't mean it ominously. I mean like finale.
I don't think it would fit anywhere else. I think that's where it needs to be.
Yeah.
It seemed a great way it was a great point for the curtain to pull at the end of the play or the movie or whatever. It was it had a very nice moody finality to it. And actually it would be interesting to try to follow that one. And it's cool because if you play the CD on repeat, if you have one of those kind of things where it's in your playlist, to have it end on that and then start on Maybe, it really illustrates the variety of the record.
Excuse me, John, what's a CD? I'm sorry?
Well, a CD is this thing. It's known as obsolete media, is what it's known as.
Dead format.
Well, and I did, of course, qualify.
It's a museum relic.
Yeah, although they're coming back hot. First it was records, then it was cassettes, now it's CDs. Yes, we're gonna sell everything to you again, folks.
Right. How many bands had you sung in? Memphis bands, I presume.
Well, I should have brought my great grandmother's singing trophy from the Rankin County Fair for 7 years in a row. So it goes very, very deep.
Okay.
My mother was a singer.
Yeah. In a power pop band. No, I'm kidding.
Well, she played pop music in the 70s.
Right. Oh, okay.
In fact, we did a tour of the Shell the other day, and they had pictures of her when she played back with opening up for Big Star.
Who's this lady?
Well, her stage name was Yancey, and she toured around Europe my entire youth, but she didn't tour the United States much. And, well, she was supposed to.
Wait, she was an opera, or not opera singer, but a classically trained? Or?
No, she was a rock singer.
Oh, okay.
She's a rock singer.
Okay.
In fact, she was supposed to start her portion of the U.S. tour, I think it was in 76. And she was going to go on tour with Leonard Skinner, and they called us up on Christmas Eve and canceled her portion of the tour. And of course, you know what happened after that.
Yeah.
So anyway, she didn't go.
Okay.
I played all the way, through high school and college, and we played in several, mostly other people's music. I did almost all exclusive covers.
But would you have been at the Antenna Club in the 80s or 90s?
Yeah, I was a little before the 80s, but yeah, I think I saw Alex there one time.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, it was kind of at the end of its heyday, so I kind of would have to sneak in. I would look 21, and I had a 21 ID.
Yeah. You guys are in your mid-50s.
No, I wish.
Well, I'm
We're on
squeezing it
the other
in,
side
but
of 50, but
Chris is a little younger.
the G.G. Allen show I should have been.
I did not want to go to
I
that.
should have gone to the G.G. Allen
That
show.
ended the antenna.
There's a lot of people that claim that they went to that show.
Well,
Yeah, a lot of people could claim but weren't there. I was not there, but I should have gone.
I was going to say those people who say that are full of, but I'm not. Gonna say that.
They're covered in it.
Anyway, well played.
The night
You know
G.G.
what?
Allen came to town, man, there's a song about it. The Drive-By
It-
Truckers.
You know, after all this peripheral history and knowing each other and the various things that they've done and been involved with, and you know, they both have musical families. You know, you could say.
I wanted to talk more about
and
that.
their background. You know, but it's interesting that it all kind of coalesced and where it's ended up because I mean, it's kind of crazy now that they have like, you know, that the Smithereens are playing like. Can I say that?
Yes,
Yes,
oh, yeah, absolutely.
absolutely.
Say it.
I didn't know if I
Say
could,
it to the
but, like,
millions.
it's gotten to this point where like now the Smithereens are playing like their festival on, you know, it's
September 5th.
you know, well, is it the fourth year, or fifth year?
Fifth
Fifth
year.
year.
The fifth year. See, there we go. It's
Fifth
the
year.
fifth year, and it's kind of like the Field of Dreams thing. You know, if you build it, they will come. And I feel like they've done that. The differences the two of them have. And how they complement each other. You know, Alan will send me like these demos and these full things, and I'll get more, you know, maybe more sketchy things from Adam. But you know, the thing that really excited me about Adam is he has the voice, like he has the radio voice. You know, like I mean, he has that kind of quality to his voice that it makes you want to listen to it when you hear it. Is how I felt about it. And as a guy that has focused on singing and been in bands that have really focused on harmony and singing, I was like, wow, yeah, this is like, you know, it's a great tool to have in your toolbox.
Give me a second here. I'm trying to grip a hold of myself right here. I'll start by saying this. Growing up, he and I listened to just all this wonderful music. The Posies, Big Star. And to just hear what I just heard from like one of our gods, which was John Howard, just say that. It just give me a second to collect myself here.
Oh, that's very
We'll go over to Alan while you get a good one here.
Well,
You know,
that's the thing. I mean,
Verklempt.
yeah, I don't like to do stuff unless I really enjoy it. It's like I didn't just do this because it was something to do. It was like there was something here, and our friendships and what has evolved out of this have also, you know, we've spent some time together, and we went through some things together. You know,
We've
and
seen
we did this
They're
all in
very
an incredibly, you know, sea change moment of the modern world. You know, like I mean, we did this in a pandemic, and then we got together in Ardent Studios in Memphis together, and the moments were not lost on us that we got to do all this.
Sure,
you know?
sure.
I mean, that's been the coolest part of my musical life ever. It really, I can't say enough. I mean, just working with the greatest people on earth. I've often told John this, you know, medicine lost a terrible doctor when he decided to be a professional musician. I mean, I've never seen a more surgical, precise, just he's got a technical ability that is beyond any that I can imagine. I have.
Like, give me an example.
He has the ability to look at the song in its minutia and its grandeur all at the same time and be able to go back and recall bits and pieces. And I like that. I don't like that. And he can listen to 128 tracks and he can remember every single one of them and pick the best pieces of it out.
We spent a couple of
129.
days at High Low tracking some guitars.
Oh, I forgot about the high-low session.
Lots of takes. And, you know, we're sitting and he's talking to the engineers. Oh, yeah, go back to that third take. Yeah, that spot. And he knew exactly where
what we like.
he wanted to go with it. And like, man, it all sounded the same to me.
Part of me being able to recall that stuff is because it's when you work on something you care about too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like actually, I could have made probably more money in my career had I just worked on anything that came along. But really, it has to be something that there's some simpatico with. Often I find that the things that are the best in life are the things that you weren't really expecting to end up being what they became. I've been to 3 of the Pop Fest. I couldn't go last year, and I won't be able to come this year, unfortunately, too. But like to see that happen, and for what I would consider to be, in my estimation, like quote unquote right reason. These guys are doing it because it's for the love of the music, and it's turned into something, you know.
We should cut away to another tune, and then when we come back, let's talk about the Pop Fest this year and the origins of it. Okay, so what should we play next?
Well, let's see. We talked about Ardent. Why don't we play Wheels which has Mr. Jody Stevens on drums.
Riding around, I've been driving, crossing all of the lines. I've been thinking about all the rolling good times. Sun is up and the top is down. Not a care in the world. Brand new day is the open road unfurled. I'm not waiting at all. Yeah, I'm not waiting at all. So it don't matter which way the wheels go. Yeah, it don't matter which way the wheels roll. In my rearview mirror, I can see all the signs. Trying to leave all my broke down visions behind. Gotta move, gotta live my life. I'll do whatever it takes. Skin smoking tires and burning brakes. I'm not waiting at all. Yeah, I'm not waiting at all. So it don't matter which way the wheels go. It don't matter which way the wheels roll. So it don't matter which way the wheels go. Yeah, it don't matter which way the wheels roll. So let 'em go. Let 'em go. Let 'em go.
Hey guys, we're back. That was the Sonny Wilsons with Wheels, featuring Jody Stevens, and you guys had some stuff to say about that.
Well, Wheels is I wrote the music to that, and it was kind of a reactionary songwriting
I feel
exercise.
like I got run over by the wheels with this song.
Well, but
I mean, it was a very difficult song to write.
I don't know why.
Well, I
It's
mean,
And there's no reason for it to be.
Alan wrote like the instrumental part of it,
Yeah.
but then we got fleshed out by Adam and I because we
Yeah.
actually spent some time working on the lyrics together. But Adam had most of the melody, I recall. Is that right?
We had the melody, we
Is
had
that-
most of the lyrics, and coming to grips with the song. It just
What do you mean coming to grips?
Yeah.
Some songs just write themselves.
Mm-hmm.
This wrote about a third of the way and then drug us behind it.
I know that feeling.
It
yeah.
ran over us a couple of times.
The final act.
And I mean, I broke a couple of headsets trying to sing it in the studio. It just
My perspective was, I'm going to write a 3 chords and a cloud of dust song and give Adam something easy to work with. And apparently I gave him the most complicated puzzle.
Alan has a very good depth of listening to music, whereas I grew up in the music business and I had a different understanding of it. I didn't have any big aspirations of being a music star because I saw what it did to my mother. And I always loved playing music. I loved playing live, where she liked the studio.
Tell me your mother's name again.
Yancey was her Celia Yancey was her name,
Okay,
but
okay.
Yancey was her stage name, and I'll show you a link to her. The songs that I wrote, we have a deep love for I guess if you would call power pop music, but bands that play power pop songs.
Rock and roll.
It's rock and roll, but Big Star was one of those huge influences. REM was one of those big huge influences, and I mean, even Cheap Trick, and my gosh, even Kiss, 2000 Man, which is a cover, but it's a power pop song.
Sure.
As far as Wheels was concerned, we had I thought was a really good hook, but the melody was very difficult for us to, or at least for me, to kind of articulate. And John did a great job of kind of helping us, guide us through that tough project on this song.
I was the closer on that song.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes, he was the closer. The enforcer might be better.
It's one of the ones that is a collab. You know, there's some collaborating on, and I did at the end kind of off the road, so to speak, or off the rails. I did kind of produce it a bit more and throw more bells and whistles on it. Like we got to a certain point, and I was like, you know, maybe it just needs like a little guitar riff, like you know, that little thing that got added, like the little hooks. It just lifted it up, and then Jody's drums made more sense too. Jody's style was, he was just kind of going for it. It needed more action overall in the production, I think. And we got there, I think, to a point where it's like, wow, we all were like, wow, this sounds really cool now. But I remember we're all kind of like, it's not there yet. What did Jody, you played it for him, you gave him a car ride between Memphis
coming back
and
from
doing
Nashville.
those Big Star shows, right?
Yeah.
What did he say to you after you said you played it from the first time?
That's great. Can you play it again, but turn it up? And I almost went in the ditch, you know, like,
Yeah.
we talked to him beforehand, but, you know, knowing that we were going to be in Ardent, and of course John's long-standing relationship with Jody, I had spent some time with him doing the Big Star stuff as well, and just felt kind of comfortable enough making the ask, and he was very receptive to it. So I got him a demo, and he made his notes. And I think, John, you had been in the studio with Jody and some other friends the day before we started. So Jody was,
That's true.
Jody was already set up and ready to go with his kit. And
You're always there at the right time.
Oh, I mean, it's
to give someone a ride, to meet someone on stage.
I must have been okay in a previous life.
When, you know, people started working at Ardent again too, because I mean, things were shut down. This is when things started to open up again. This all kind of happened. I think you were the ones that suggested, like, why don't we do it at Ardent, because you always wanted to work at Ardent. And I was like, well, I think I know somebody who might be happy to have us there, and they treated us very well.
Oh,
and,
man.
Yeah, we had a good time there.
That was a nanosecond decision.
So it was Studio A, you know, just the whole red carpet treatment. And the thing I'll never forget about that, first of all, you know, we're tracking. I'm playing scratch guitar, and I'm looking at Adam, and I know this is a family show, so I can't say what I actually mouthed.
Honestly, it's not a family show.
Well, I'm going to do my best.
I'm not even sure what kind of show it is, Dennis.
I don't want to get you in trouble with anyone. So it was, golly gee, Adam, I can't believe we're playing with Jody and John all at the same time. But there was one part in the chorus, Jody had his way of that he was going to play it, and I had something totally different in mind. And I really felt strongly about it. So I just kind of, you know, sheepishly raised my hand. You know, Mr. Stevens, would it be okay if you know, just use the bell? And he said, yeah, sure, of course. And that's what made it into the record, and it sounds great because it's Jody. Yeah. Jody could have been playing on your very resonant table, and it would sound great. It's not just that song, but the whole thing with John and all the people at Ardent. Good crew, and I hope they are back online soon.
Would you mind if I suggested a song to play, more the power pop kind of hard-hitting side of the Sonny Wilsons? The song called Miss Kinetic.
Mr. Swinson played bass on.
Yeah, it's really good performance, I think. I think the production's good on it too. I'm not to toot my own horn, but it sounds good, and it just all kind of really came together on that. And I believe actually Danny plays on that too, doesn't he? Danny,
he does. Danny McGregor, who is
Danny McGregor.
He's the third guitarist in our very guitar-heavy band.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well let's play Miss Kinetic, and we'll come back.
She's a rocker, she's a talker, she talks her life away. And I listen to everything she says. She's a panic, Miss Kinetic, and let you see this stay. Set it up and blow us all away.
I was at Danny McGregor's music store, Sweet Lorraine's in Hernando, Mississippi on the square. I was waiting to talk to Danny. He was teaching a guitar lesson to this kid, and I picked up a really nice acoustic off the wall, and I'm just noodling around with it, and I came up with this riff. I was like, oh, I kind of like that. So I hit record, the voice notes on the iPhone, and it was just this really soft, sweet acoustic, progression. And you can hear Danny talking to the kid in the background, and then it became what you just heard, this 3 guitar attack, maybe 4.
It's everybody playing on that thing.
Yeah, everybody.
Yeah.
When I was searching for this online, it seemed to be pushed as a single, or like
That was our first single.
I thought it had kind of maybe the Cars.
A little bit.
I can see that.
It's obviously a rocking song. And, I thought I kind of wrote it, or at least the lyrics, about, the girl you knew who was going a million miles a second nowhere quickly. I had this idea, we call it mass kinetic. And Alan was like, well, why not just call it Miss Kinetic?
Yeah,
I was like,
this song's about a girl.
that is the way. Why did I think of that? It was a great idea. It was a wonderful idea. And that's kind of how it came to, because I wanted, it's energy, and it's moving energy, and I guess what's kinetic energy is all about.
Right.
So
Right, what you know.
exactly. We were talking about this earlier. I kind of write songs that are designed for any idiot in the world to play, that are short, quick, and probably a little too sweet. And he kind of writes songs a little bit more, longer and more complex, and maybe a little bit on the sour side. So if you bring those two together, it kind of balances each other out. John's direction to kind of channel that and encourage that.
But it's like he's putting a Badfinger harmony melody on a shoegaze song.
Shoegaze. That's a great way of putting it.
Adam was down at my place last week, and working on a new song, and we were both pretty resolute on what we were hearing and where it was going to go. And not by design, we really did split the difference.
If it works for the song, let's do it.
Yeah, we don't care.
Yeah,
it's not about
it's not an ego thing.
No.
With tens of dollars, we made $10.
That's our motto: tens of dollars.
And when we work it till we can't work it anymore, we'll bounce it off, Swinson or somebody else or John, and then we bring
we
it
phone a friend
to Yoda over here. And
Well, so these songs.
John, I think he just called you Yoda.
Yes.
That's the clip we'll pay.
You are. Power or pop, there is no try. In the sessions that we did together, this song might have qualified as something where you got to be on the same page on it. I was going to bring up Desert Song, if you don't mind, a little behind the curtain, which is a song that, from my perspective, originated as a riff from Alan. He even took it a step farther, where he went on this trip to the desert and came back with a poem almost that you couldn't really sing it yet, but he had lyrics almost. And then I heard a demo that, from my perspective, that where Adam kind of riffed on it. He tried to sing what he could of the lyrics. The parts that he did make fit, I kind of heard it, and I was like, I don't know, guys, maybe if you guys aren't getting to a consensus on this one, would you mind if I took a shot at it? It just kind of happened after that. That's very different from anything on the record, I think, too. Yeah.
Yeah, let's play it. This is Desert Song by the Sonny Wilsons.
Covering albums and pretty fixtures. sand and the stars at night. My desert song.
I think a lot like, Michael Stipe says, I think of the melody before I think of anything else. That's the first thing in my head is I hear the vocal melody, and everything else follows that to me. And a guitar riff. And, Alan's not a singer, so he doesn't necessarily always write that way. So we have to kind of wrestle. Like a lot of times I have to wrestle, this song. We may have to change the key. We have to put a capo up, capo down to kind of get it into a register that makes sense vocally. So, sometimes that push and pull has really worked. And on that song, like John said, that was a prime example of how we kind of all three stirred the pot.
You guys have to feel so good that John was so invested in this that when you went into this, John, you didn't know you were going to become the ipso facto third member.
For this record, that's kind of how it started, So yeah, I guess I had no way of knowing it was going to be. It just kind of evolved again, right, guys? It wasn't like I was like, hey, we're going to do 13 songs and I'm going to help out with these many. It's just, we were having fun. It was kind of like putting a puzzle together,
Well, Desert Song was the first one that John did say, hey, would you mind?
That's true.
He was being very polite and gingerly about it, like he was trying not to offend me by asking if he could, finish the song. And I'm kind of like that Jody Stevens moment in the studio.
That'd be a terrible idea. When can you have it done?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely. You have free reign to do whatever you want.
When somebody from Mississippi tells you what to do, you do it.
Is that how that works?
I think
I
so.
need to take advantage of that more often.
Yeah.
Here's the judge.
Right.
I'm
Well,
6'4", 240
John-
pounds. That helps too.
John, I know you got to go in a little bit. Do you mind if I ask you some questions about the Memphis effect on you and the timing of all of this?
Yeah.
And this goes for you guys as well, obviously. But how long had it been since you had done a Memphis project before Alan approached you?
I don't think I've ever done a project like this. The last. I have a lot of ties to Memphis because of Big Star. Obviously, I think, and it's kind of become. It sounds cliched to say it's become like a second home, but I've spent a lot of time there.
Yeah.
And I still spend time there because I go there to rehearse or play shows with Big Star, and I also did make a later period Big Star record in 2004. It's a record called In Space. That was actually Chilton, myself, Ken Stringfellow, and Jody Stevens. That was the group at the time. We had 2, I think, like 10-day sessions at Ardent's that we did and made, pretty cool record. It's not like a Big Star, classic Big Star record of yore. There's no way it could have been, but what a great experience. And I certainly got to know Memphis a lot more as a result of that. And, here's a funny thing. I'm in the Memphis Music Hall of Fame because of I got a statue. We did when Big Star got inducted for some reason, and don't ask me why. So they kind of grandfathered us in for our kind of Johnny Appleseed like work with Big Star because of how much we helped propagate it. They said, well, you've been doing this long enough that we're going to consider you honorary sons, basically. No one told us. It was like they handed it to us in the moment, and we're like, what the F is going on here? This just seems kind of weird, but we were like, okay, well, we're going to, it's also an honor. But in terms of making a record like we did, I've never, to this extent, made a record outside of doing something with Big Star as much as, I have with the Sonny Wilsons. It's cool because it's also turned into a thing where there's been this pop festival too, the Memphis Power Pop Festival. I didn't have anything to do with other than I played the first one. Yeah. And I played with the Sonny Wilsons at the second one with Chris and everybody. We had a great time at the second one. That was a great show. When it was with was that with the Baseball Project? Was that the second one? Or was that the third one?
No,
right.
Matthew Sweet was
and you played
year
Matthew
3.
Sweet too, yeah. So you did.
And I played on the
3.
Matthew Sweet the following year. So it's like now I've really gotten to be like I feel like an extra son of Memphis and the area. And also, I'm kind of like got my eyes on a little Piet de Terre and Hernando now too. So I'm going to get just across the border. No, I'm just saying like there's a lot of connection there, and it's not just surface level. It's like I know my way around now. And like I'm going back to meeting Chris. I mean, Chris and I used to throw down a bit back in the day, whenever I was in town, we were in Memphis, we'd go out and have a good time. And there's at least one or two nights that I can't remember very well with Chris. He was around for some like stuff with the Posies and when we were playing some of those earlier shows and some Big Star stuff too. I done various little bits of work at Ardent and Hilo and whatnot too. But this felt like a proper recording and a proper project. And like I said, look what it's turned into. It's like now it's become a yearly thing like this, and these guys are playing and they got this cool record and they want to make more music. And again, it's the Field of Dreams scenario, Memphis style.
How many producer credits or roles had you had? In other words, what's the timeline of how you went from that into producing this Maybe record?
Oh, I've been producing since I was young. I mean, the Posies' first record was I recorded it in the house I grew up in as a teenager, and I learned recording because my father he took some money that he inherited from his father and decided, well, I've always wanted to have a little recording studio in the house. And before everybody had a cell phone, this is long before, this is like the end of the 80s, and we had a little 8-track recording studio, like an analog recording studio in our rec room, basically. And he never really used it. It's one of those funny things where, and then I would, I'd still go out and go to prom and, I'd go out and try to get people to buy me wine coolers when I was underage. That's and, I'd go out and, have with girls and dates and stuff. But there were times when I would just go home and spend all weekend in the home recording studio with a pair of headphones working on music. I grew up in this town called Bellingham, Washington, near the border and near the Peace Arch in British Columbia.
So you must have known Dave Kreider and Estrus Records?
I recorded Dave Kreider's first band, the Roof Dogs. When I was 16, I recorded every band there was in Bellingham, basically. So I knew Dave Kreider before there was a Mono Men and Estrus. That's all I knew Dave Kreider.
Did you know the Makers?
Not as well. Well, that was later.
Yeah.
So that's later. Yeah.
So were you involved in the Garage Shock stuff that happened?
I was not. And by that time I was already, the Posies, we made one record and then we moved to Seattle and we got signed. The guy that signed us signed Sonic Youth, Teenage Fan Club, and then he signed us, and then he signed Nirvana right after us. Gary Gersh, a wonderful A&R guy. So we very quickly benefited from being from Seattle, even though we didn't sound like we weren't a grunge band. We were talking about right time, right place.
But you had your own Northwest part of the country garage rock history thing going on that was fueling your interest and your knowledge.
Well, I was very much a DIY guy right from the beginning as far as recording. And then when we moved to Seattle, our record that I recorded in that house got released on a record label called Pop Llama in the very famously this band called the Young Fresh Fellows, Scott McCoy, who ended up being in REM, the -5, and also, a band that toured with the Replacements, the early Replacements, like incessantly. Yeah, it was all very grassroots.
Sure.
Making a record with these guys is more like, it's about, that's the reason that I started making music, was because you've got a great group of songs together and you wanted to make some cool music. There were no other reasons at the time. When you're getting to know people, I don't want to be untrusting, I'm not, but you want to make sure that motivations of people are, aligned with yours as well. So I feel like we're very aligned in that we're doing this because we just love music.
Are you talking about Chris Swenson again?
Undoubtedly. Have you seen my I've got the 2026 Chris Swenson calendar on my wall? Incredible. We shot most of those pictures back in the 2000s, but
I thought you were going to say dartboard.
Yeah, no. Well, that's next.
As we go singing
these guys keep talking about new material they're writing, and you're talking to them about da 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 da. Are you guys? Is there something in the coming up here, or next year, or what's the? Is there some conversation that's going on?
Well, there's been a little talk of like wanting to do something together again, and I mean, I would totally do it in a heartbeat because last time we played together, like they had written these songs, and like wow, it was just like. It's just they're their own thing now, and it's cool to have been there for the inception of that. So I'd love to help out if they want me to and be a part of it.
You're a member of the band. They can't do anything
not
without
really,
you.
not really anymore. Because I'm not really they've got their thing going. I mean, I guess I'll always be an honorary person there, but really it's like they've graduated to their thing, you know, now, and they've got an identity, and that's cool to see. So, but yes, I would love to record and mix some more stuff. And the songs that we did when the Matthew Sweet show happened, "Where Did You Go" was one of them, and what was the Hungry Ghost song?
Yeah.
Anyways, the future for me, I would do it in a heartbeat. We'll see what they say and where it goes. You know.
Well, we'd love for you to come to Memphis, obviously.
Oh yeah, my God.
Are you guys going to unveil some new stuff at the Pop Festival on September 5th?
We're going to try. We're running out of time. The biggest challenge, I think, for all of us is that we have day jobs. You know, I would love to do this nonstop, or a lot more than we do. It was no small feat to get us all in this room tonight.
Tonight, yeah.
And this is just, you know, there's two other Sonny Wilsons involved in the live show. To pull that off is tough. So
where do they live?
Well, there's Danny McGregor is in Hernando, and then Johnny Norris is in Memphis. Johnny, who's in 17 other bands.
Your academy.
The Sonny Wilsons has kind of morphed into a little something greater than we ever expected it to be.
Yeah.
I mean, this originally started off as, you know, well, I've always wanted to do a power pop festival. You know, I guess we ought to write some songs. Yeah, I guess we ought to write some songs. And then it kind of developed from there. But we just got back from a little small European tour, and it was a vastly different group of people.
We haven't even talked about that yet.
Yeah. One of the best things we've ever done.
Yeah, and then like just today got a message out of the blue from a band out of Michigan that's going to be on tour and asked if we could, you know, open up for them. And I don't think our schedules worked out.
Well, they may. We'll just, you know.
Well, when Chris told me about the Power Pop Festival, and I went, what did we decide? Was that 2 years ago?
No, I think you said.
Who'd you see?
I saw the baseball.
That was 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
Okay, yeah.
But I was like, wow, you guys are a fully formed institution, and you've got a freaking festival. It's like, where was I asleep for all this? It's like
A big part of that is thanks to the Overton Shell.
yeah,
You know, they are.
yeah, but they wouldn't have
Yes.
plugged you guys in if you weren't like.
Well,
full-blown,
we pitched it to them, and they liked the idea and have run with it and keep asking us back. So
Well, the whole idea of it being outdoors is really great. I mean, that's just amazing.
until it's not.
until boom.
Right.
They offer a tour of the backstage area, and it's, you know, it's not memorabilia other than some posters and a lot of interactive things. But
You talk about Cole Early.
yeah, Cole Early
Yeah.
guides the tour and tells the stories, and it's insane
You could spend hours.
the
back
amount
there.
of
Absolutely.
musical history.
You finally have to tell Cole, like, Cole, I got to go.
Yeah.
Hour 3.
It's just a really cool place to hang out back there.
It is
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
a cool place.
Yeah.
And-
Because you can actually stand in the same place that, who was the photographer who took Elvis, the slump shoulder, acoustic off the shoulder,
Yep,
55 photograph?
Cole is going to chastise us for not
I
remembering.
remember that.
Anyway, you know, you've stood in that spot. We'll talk about this year real quick. I got it written down here. You got the Smithereens, Joy Bombs, Sonny Wilson's, Your Academy,
Yep,
September 5th.
September 5th.
What's the cost to get in?
There is no cost. It is a free show. One of the things that Adam and I decided on early, we want to bring music we love to Memphis, and we want as many people to see it as possible. You know, and that's one of the great things about a Shell show. You're going to have, you know, diehard fans there, but you're going to have a bunch of people who are going because it's a free show and it's the Shell and it's a great environment. You know, I think after year one, somebody at the Shell said, you know, you ought to turn this into a ticketed event. And I'm like, because if this becomes a job, it's no longer fun. And I don't want to live and die on ticket sales, and I've got enough stress and enough responsibility in my life. I don't need to add that to it. So we have a lot of very generous sponsors that help us out. We dip into our own pocket as well. I mean, we've definitely got skin in the game.
I've had this dream for 3 decades about putting on a celebration of the music that I loved, that we loved, that John loved. And this was never about a dollar. My entire life, music has always been about a dollar sign, and I hated it. Always playing someone else's music, especially watching my mother's music career. And to me, this music was so important, especially how it developed from our city. And I wanted this to be a celebration of the music that proliferated from here.
And I have to thank our undercard, Joy Bomb, your Academy, and the other members of the Sonny Wilsons. The joke I tell, if you remember the end of Fast Times at Ridgemont High when they're doing the Where Are They Now, you know, gets the reward money for saving Brooke Shields from drowning. And what does he do? He blows it on hiring Van Halen for his birthday party. And that's kind of what we do. All the money we raise goes towards bringing in the headliner, and there's nothing left.
I'm holding on that the Stones will still play the Shell despite that kerfuffle back in '69. So maybe
they're not a power pop band, but they have some power pop songs.
We'd put them on the bill.
Yeah.
See, there these guys go again. See, proving that they're doing it for the music, not the money.
Right.
They're doing it.
Donating to the Shell is definitely a part of that for anybody who goes there.
Yeah.
We have to find a way to donate those of us who can.
Thank God it's still there.
And they got some great sponsors too.
And you know what? I wish you guys could play the Mid-South Coliseum. And it's still there too.
And Mud Island Amphitheater.
Mud
I was going to bring up
Island's
Mud
right
Island.
away.
Mud Island would be a great, interesting.
Mud Islands.
Yeah.
I would love to be the first
Have
show.
you been
back
to
in
a
Mud
show
Island.
there,
Well,
John?
Is that where the big?
There's a big
what's that
amphitheater.
big pyramid.
Next time,
It's,
yeah,
it's
right
just
next
south of that.
At the Shell thing, isn't it like the 90th year?
Yes.
They're doing some celebration this year.
Yeah, they're
The Shell.
celebrating their 90th year.
The best show I thought Mud Island ever did was Ramones, Blondie, and Tom Tom Club in '89.
Holy!
Oh man!
In '89.
You had me at Tom Tom Club. Man. All those bands are amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. What year was this?
I think it was '88 or '89.
Wow. Incredible.
I saw REM there in '86
Best poster ever made.
Well, that's right.
with the
Yeah,
mud
yeah,
spelled
that's
with 2 D's.
Yeah, that was a great show. Did you see REM at the Orpheum the year before?
I did not.
That was Michael Stipe couldn't believe how beautiful the Orpheum was.
I saw.
That is a great theater.
I think I saw Simple Minds and The Call at the Orpheum in '85.
Did you see 2000 Maniacs? Oh wait, they opened for REM. I guess that was the opening for REM.
They may have opened for that Mud Island show.
Yeah. Okay, maybe that's what it was.
When the Stax Museum opens, was it 2001? This is that's the time I went to the Orpheum, and does it still exist, the Orpheum?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's a beautiful theater, but it was like Big Star were on the periphery of doing like a show around that celebration. We didn't get to play like the big Orpheum show. We played like the Gibson Lounge. Remember the Gibson Lounge or something?
Yeah.
With it was like Little Walter and us, and it was a great show. But we got to go to the Orpheum show, and all I remember is that I think they got like Michael McDonald. I mean, it was like Al, of course, Al Green, Isaac Hayes, Percy Sledge. I'm gonna say, but I think Michael McDonald filled in. He did Sitting on the Dock of the Bay, and Steve Cropper was there too playing.
Oh wow!
But he got to the whistle. He got to the whistle solo, and he couldn't do the whistle. So he's like, and then he just like, he just says, "I never could whistle worth a damn." That's what he said. That's my Orpheum moment. You're so lucky to grow up in that area, just because I'm lucky getting to be a guy who's infiltrated or gotten to, just by osmosis. But wow, talk about all the history. It's just like,
well, there's no gatekeeping in Memphis. You could come here and it would be like you lived here your whole life.
That's a great vibe, but just the history. It's just like, it's insane. I'm not saying anything nobody, you guys don't already know, but it's just like.
Have you seen Al Green preach in his church?
I did. I saw him back in the 90s, and he got in my face, which really nicely at the church. And then I saw him when Big Star did that, Big Star's Third, the one we did where we rehearsed at the Stax Museum, where we and I talked about maybe doing some stuff a little bit, I think. I went and saw him then, but I saw him in the '90s. Yeah, he was like, "Where are you from, son?" I'm like, "Seattle, Washington." He's like, "Seattle, Washington."
Sometimes the local Walgreens, the W will flicker out and it just says Algreens,
Oh yeah,
and that's always a special moment.
that is a special moment.
What do you guys want to play next from the record? Let's play something else, and then we can come back in and close it up if you want.
It's a song I wrote when my kids started going off to college.
Yeah.
The letting go.
You got me right
But
here.
putting on the brave face of letting them know it's okay. Don't worry about us. Not that they are, because they're
Now,
kids.
do you want to mention Brett Harris here?
Yeah, so I met Brett through John at the Big Star Third show in 2019, and he actually stayed with us in Hernando. That was a cast of thousands for that show, and so everybody was kind of spread out. And it was Christmas time, and I'll never forget, my wife had gotten some new gadget. It was a magic wand that you use to light the tree.
I didn't know where you were going with that.
To light the Christmas tree. And Brett was a new father at the time, and he was just enamored with that. And so sure enough, my wife, being who she is, went out and got one and gave it to him to take home.
Oh.
And for years, Brett would send me a video of the first lighting of his tree, of his young son lighting the tree. When we got around to getting this song recorded, I asked John, I really want Brett to sing on this recording. It has some meaning to me. He worked it out, and Brett came. I think that the two of you may have collaborated on some of the arrangements.
He sent me tracks that were great, and there might have been a couple little things, or I might have added a little thing. And I remember I might have suggested you leaning into your concept for it. If you're feeling these feelings, just put them in the song. You know what I mean? I think it's a very well written lyric for sure.
That's how that came to be. And then, of course, Adam did his thing with his harmonies and melody.
Do you sing in the airplane?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, on that note, let's play The Art of Letting Go. I love the chorus on this song by the Sonny Wilsons.
I couldn't turn around the moment life unwound. You were leaving a life to call your own. Into the unknown, you are leaving now. I don't want to see you go. You just got here and I can't fake the art of letting go. See the world unfold, stories to be told. You are dreaming, no apologies. It really falls on me. Time is bleeding out. I don't want to let you go. You just got here and I can't fake the art of letting go. I couldn't turn around the moment life unwound. You were leaving. Do it on your own and face the great unknown. Find your meaning now. I don't want to see you go, and I can't fake the art of letting. I know I have to let you go, so I will fake the art of letting go. I will fake the art of letting go.
Wait, some people.
Hold on a minute. You mean like Teenage Fan Club?
Scotland.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I have no contacts with them.
Oh, okay.
John does, but I don't.
Yeah, I just did the Big Star. Just Norman Blake was the fifth. Pat Sansone couldn't do it, so Norman was our fifth Big Star quintet in Ireland. We did 3 shows.
Oh, wow.
And we did. I mean, the first European Posies tour back in the day was Posies Teenage and we opened for them for like 7 weeks. So we talk about a great introduction to Europe. Jesus Christ. But yeah, he's still a great guy, man. And still Scottish as hell too. Just, oh yeah, it's great. Oh, it's great. Oh, it's got the better songs. Great. But anyways,
What was the first year you went to Europe as a band?
1993 would have been the first year we did a full. I think actually, honestly, Big Star with Chilton. We went to Europe before the Posey went. We played a show at a festival in 1993. With Chilton. And then the Posies went that fall, and we got that Teenage Fan Club tour and did that 7-week thing. But yeah, it was great. We got to go to every major capital, and then we did like 2 weeks in the UK, and I think we played in Prague with Teenage Fan Club, and as well as Spain. It was fun. I remember Chilton getting he was definitely at that point into marijuana, shall we say, and I remember him kind of ruining the rehearsal when we got to jet lag to Amsterdam. A little bit. And kind of going off into the stratosphere. But that's another story.
Well, it's just like anything. I moved here in '84 when I was 21. Elvis meant something to me. He means everything to me now, but then he meant much less to me. And same with Chilton. My first real introduction to Chilton was the Replacements' Alex Chilton song.
Yeah.
And, and isn't that ironic that it has to come from a bunch of people in Minneapolis to tell you about someone in your own backyard?
You never heard the letter?
The Big Star story?
That's Box Tops, but again, that's almost ubiquitous because you go to Huey's and eat a hamburger and you're hearing the Box Top. You don't really you don't think about it as just an isolated Chilton thing. But once you learn about it, then again your knowledge grows. But then Weevil, the first local volunteer radio station here, used to play a lot of Big Star, and eventually if you were tuning in at the right time, you'd catch, like, one night they played a live New York recording that the Three-Piece did. This was later in their career. I remember recording that on a cassette player, but then as a Memphis thing, Chilton comes into the place I work. I worked at a package mail center store across from Zinni's East. So now my level of Alex Chilton knowledge is become meta because now he's in front of me. And so I ship a package to his girlfriend in London, a stack of records, and I don't even charge him anything because he's Alex Chilton, and that's the way he should be deserved to be treated.
That's cool.
And then we saw him at the Antenna. My wife and I saw him a little later on. In other words, Memphis does that kind of thing to you where if you catch on to something, pretty soon you're just going to be meeting the person. And I just thought that level of Memphis epiphany is beyond time and space.
I think two people that we haven't touched much on that need to be definitely mentioned is.
Are we rolling, by the way?
Yeah, we're rolling.
I don't remember coming back.
Memphis has such a rich history, and I've often said this, especially when I went to Europe, I had no idea the impact that this town had on the world.
When you just went.
We just went. I mean, Memphis was a ubiquitous town, but, let's just talk about Andy Hummel and Chris Bell. I mean, these were the kids down the street. And to us, they're just the kids down the street. To the rest of the world, they're superstars. And that's just the beauty of where we came from. The amount of music wealth that just comes from next door here is we take it for granted.
Yet directly across the street or the alley from the Cavern Club is a plaque from Memphis Tourism.
But you know what's beautiful about Memphis? The Beatles come here and then we burn their records in front of them.
Yeah.
Another reason you'll never forget Memphis.
Right, yeah. And then a firecracker goes off. Am I being shot at? Okay, time to go on. Time to end the touring. Did you see the Ron Howard documentary where he surmises that the Beatles decided to stop touring because of Memphis, and then it became a full-blown realization by San Francisco?
Wow.
Remember that point in the Ron Howard thing?
No.
I haven't seen it.
I've never seen that either.
That makes sense.
I guess that was 8 days a week. Is that what it was called? Anyway, I'm sorry. Go off on a tangent.
You were talking about Alex Chilton. The whole reason I brought this up was, I was reading an article the other day about Alex Chilton in an Airplane magazine of all places. It was talking about Memphis and him. And it was really interesting to say is, one of the things that he couldn't stand, and this was kind of when I was telling you that I saw him, everybody wanted him to play Big Star. And in this article it said, when I joined Big Star, it's almost kind of like, although I brought the heavy weight of the rock star to the band, I felt like I was joining Chris Bell's band. And it really struck me. I never quite thought of it like that, but if you listen to Alex's stuff, it's nothing like the first album at all.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he did join Chris Bell's band. I mean, a lot of that stuff was recorded before Alex got there,
Yeah.
He very quickly made an indelible mark on it and wrote some, of the most beloved stuff. There were tracks off a number one record that were already finished,
Right.
And, what a chameleon in a way, too. And I'm not trying to insult the term power pop again, but arguably Alex Chilton wrote one of the greatest power pop songs of all time. And I say song because, Alex is not a power pop guy. Like as anybody who's seen all of his different iterations, right? I mean, the man is like all over the shop and the better for it, I think. But, September Girls could arguably be at the top of the list.
Absolutely.
Of the greatest power. If you're going to pick like one example of power pop, that could be at the top of the list, or it could be the one you put in, the time capsule or the thing you send off to, Voyager or whatever to the rest of the universe. Here's an example of power pop. September, it could be it. You know what I'm saying?
With a strong follow-up, Within the Street.
Well, sure, Within the Street, but there you go. Sure, but I mean, it's like he did write a couple examples of that. And it's funny. I remember him. I'm digressing now. He did say how great he thought number one record sounded. He called it power pop he called it pure pop for audiophiles. Power pop for audiophiles is how he described number one record, because that record is just so pristine and still to this day. My comment about that record, another tangent, is that to me that record sounds like you're hearing it for the first time every time you listen to it.
Absolutely.
That's the way I feel with that record. I just go, it still has this freshness, and all the records are great, and I love Radio City too, and Third, but it's just like that one has that thing. But I don't know how we got here just talking about Chilton.
Well, I want to use it as a segue. John mixed this album as well. When you listen to it on headphones. I think you'll really appreciate it. There's so many subtleties in the clarity of it.
Sober or stoned.
You pick your mode.
You can listen to it however you want. But,
I'm going to listen to it on blood pressure medicine.
Maybe not that.
Well,
no low sartan. Okay, that's probably
that's what I'm on.
That's what I'm on too.
Oh no, Jesus!
No
You got to
low
switch
sartan.
prescriptions then.
this whole thing was a celebration of basically the music that Big Star kind of created. I mean, that was my my appreciation for it. And you've worked closely with both Jody and Alex. Can you just for a second explain what working with both of them was like individually? Just how your interactions with them.
Playing live with them was one thing, but I mean, actually recording at Ardent with him was a whole nother thing. With Jody, I find the interesting thing about him is that he's always listening, and he would call me on stuff sometimes like that maybe I thought maybe he wouldn't hear, or he wasn't, because he was playing drums or something like that. He'd be too busy doing a drum fill, but really he would actually be like, well, no, not so much in terms of stuff that we would write together, but when we would be like performing or like trying to perform Big Star music, he'd be like, actually, you should really go back and check this out. Like I realized that I've been singing the harmony. There's that ooh in 13, like those ethereal background vocals that are happening.
Yeah.
And he actually, I think he told Pat and I both, he said, actually, you guys, you need to sing them on the beats. It's on the beat on the record. And we got out our phone in a rehearsal and we actually sat there with him and listened to it. We're like, motherfucker, he's totally right. And I'm like, I've been thinking wrong since 1993.
My daughter put out a record called Hannah Starr and the Teenagers, and it was mastered on the Stax deck that was at Ardent before it got all that.
Did Jeff Powell do it, or
yes,
Larry Nick?
And it was out on Ward Archer Music and Arts label. But my daughter was 13 when she performed 13 at the Overton Park Shell.
Oh.
Wow. With on Earth Day, like in 2016 or something like that, with Paul Taylor on drums and Alicia Trout on guitar.
Being 13, playing 13, that's a cool thing for sure.
I'm sorry, go ahead. What were you saying?
Oh no, I was just going to say that working with Alex, I mean, there's actually some liner notes I wrote for the Omnivore re-release of In Space, but there's a couple songs. I mean, actually I found them again recently because we split there's a list of the splits for the writing credits because it's all credited to the four of us, but there's certain songs where we'd all would get like, I get the majority because I wrote most of it, and like everybody would get 10%. Or Jody and I wrote a song called February's Quiet, basically, but everybody but Jody and I got 10% and we got the rest of it. Well, there's a couple of them. There's one of them that I wrote with Alex called Donny. It's the first. I pretty much wrote that with him, and then everybody kind of fleshed it out and got a 10%. But pretty much it was him and me going, head to head on that, and he got in my face a little bit. I do remember that. Like he was like, "Come on, man! Like what's the bridge? What's it going to be?" and all this stuff like that. And I was like, wow. I just thought to myself in the moment, I had enough self-awareness to go like, wow, I'm being pressured by Alex Chilton in the studio making a Big Star record. And I thought, how cool is that? But he did also at one point correct my grammar while we were working on the vocals to that song, where I got to be the producer in sense, and he was like, well, how do you want me to sing this? And I was like, well, we'll just do a bunch of takes, and then I'll pick between the takes. And he's like, he paused for a second and he just said to me, and I've told this story before, but he said, what did he say? He said, from amongst. And I'm like, sorry, what did you say? And he's like, from amongst. He said, between would be from 2 takes, but we're picking from several takes, so the proper phrase would be and I was like, wow, that's incredible. This is another life lesson. Was he being a mentor or was he just being a contrarian? Well, I think he always had a contrarian streak. I mean, Jody described it the best that in the book, there's that book that Rich Topeka wrote. There Was a Light, the Chris Bell book, which is pretty fabulous. But Jody described Alex as being predictably unpredictable, if that makes sense. I think there's a part of him that just enjoyed being contrarian for being contrarian. Because, I don't know, near the end of our tenure together before he passed away, I think he's starting to lighten up a bit. And you can actually see it. There's the last show we ever played together. It's the Masonic Temple in Brooklyn. It's online, and he's actually cracking a smile while we're playing. And the audience starts singing along, and he kind of looks out and he starts smiling. Like he acknowledges that it's actually cool that people are this into it. But when I first met him and got to know him a little bit, and I didn't know him like super well. I'm not going to pretend like he was my best buddy or something like that. But just working with him, The perceived iciness thawed over the years. I think he was at a very happy point. He got married, and he just, he'd relax, and like it's okay to like, but look at it from his perspective. Imagine if you did this thing that nobody paid attention to and disregarded, and then 30 years later they all decided it was the greatest thing ever. You might be kind of like, Jody called it the 35-year marketing plan or something like that.
Yeah, Alex.
That said, and about this before I go off on this, some of my favorite moments, and there's some pictures. There's a picture of me backstage with Alex with playing this SG I've got right here. Actually, I used to play with the Posies, this Wyatt SG that's in the Dream All Day video.
Mm-hmm.
It's him backstage in Japan when the Big Star toured Japan, like 1994. You can see the look on my face. I'm lit up like a kid at a candy store and Alex is showing me how to play something on guitar, and he's showing me how to play "Rock with You" by Michael Jackson, the Rod Temperton. And what I'm getting at is my favorite moments with him were those kind of moments when no one was looking, and he was just being his eclectic kind of laconic kind of fun self, and we had some good moments like that for sure. And also, honestly, he told me he got really he trusted some people who then printed some things they thought that they weren't going to print, and he went through that he learned the hard way on some things, and his wall was up, but by the end it was coming down, and then he got a heart attack 2 days before we were going to play South by Southwest together, and our show turned into a tribute to him at that point. So I'm just glad to have gone through it all. What a there's only one of those guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's the truth. So in the end, that's what it's all about.
Well, what I was once again go back to you guys. You want to go out on a tune? We played like half the record or something.
Could I suggest going back to the beginning and just playing like the big pop hit, which is kind of like this first song on the record? Maybe the band's sick of it because it's the one that got played the most initially, and it was the first to be mixed. But I think it's a great example of, you're talking about power pop, like this is straight up power pop, and a great example of it. Play the opening track on Maybe, which is actually Maybe. And thanks for having me on, you guys, and I'm glad we got a chance to talk about some of these things in depth, and this is the first time we've really done this, so
well, good.
Appreciate you taking
Thank
time
you.
and having.
Thanks, John.
And John, we're going to miss you this year.
I'm gonna miss myself this year, but that's another story. So
all right, well, we hope to see you very soon, and look us up.
all right, cheers, dude.
All right.
See
Good
you,
night,
John.
buddy.
I can call you on the phone.
So we just played Maybe, didn't we?
We played Maybe.
Okay, and we said goodbye to John, but there's a couple things we need to wrap up and talk about. But you mentioned England. Talk about that for a minute.
Johnny Norris and your academy have played David Bash's International Pop Overthrow several times in the past. And I guess it was last year he asked if we wanted to play the LA show because your academy was going. Like, sure. So we started working it up. I don't think everyone from your academy could go, so Chris and I were subbing in. We were going to play a set with your academy and then the Sonny Wilsons, and then at the last minute your academy fell apart. But we went out there. David heard Miss Kinetic and absolutely loved it. As soon as we finished our set, we went outside, and David was doing his live podcast with his partner Mark Hirschberger, I think. I probably butchered that. He follows us outside, live streaming, and invites us to play Liverpool IPO. And we're just gobsmacked and like, absolutely, we'll start saving our pounds.
You don't say no.
Just a month ago, ended up playing the Cavern Club, and these guys were playing with David Brookings and his band, or became part of his band for a week, and played a bunch of shows. I think Sonny Wilson's between the full band and your acoustic set. We played 4 or 5 shows. Same
Played
with
9 shows in 6 days.
Yeah.
I played 6 shows in one day.
That's right. Oh, yeah.
You played 6 shows in one
Chris
day.
and I got drafted in to play with another band from San Diego. When I say band, only one of them made it. And we filled in, but it was fun. We were playing different instruments and just like utility infielders on a baseball team, wherever we needed to be plugged in.
How many places did you play? And you played Liverpool. You played the Cavern. What else?
And then we played across the street at the Cavern Pub, and then you guys played.
Well, we played in Macclesfield
we had
with David.
The Sonny Wilson's duo in Macclesfield at Diversion,
which was
probably the best gig we've ever played.
Yeah,
now Macclesfield is outside of Liverpool, Manchester.
Manchester.
Outside of, it's a suburb of Manchester.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's like
about 25 miles outside.
About like
of
Somerville or Oakland.
I've never heard of that place though. Of all the of the hot spots of
it's
English.
a great place to go.
Yeah,
absolutely go.
Yeah, so we played the first gig that night. We played at a place called the Mash Bar with David Brookings, and then and Adam and Laura were staying a couple doors down and got to talking to a bar proprietor. Like literally, like pretty much right outside the door, and.
So why don't I come over and play afterwards? Which I'll add, we opened up for Guitar George, who knows all the chords.
That's where I was going to go next.
George Bronsky. Oh, I'm sorry.
No. You
steal your thunder.
No, do it. So he plays in a band with his daughter, Maura, and it's Maura and the Fabulous Wonderfuls, and there's Guitar George, like. Smiling, like his teeth are almost like glowing in the dark. Like it's a pretty dark room, and like you see nothing but teeth. And I mean, this guy's just so happy and he's so enthusiastic. Even still, like probably almost 50 years after the Dire Straits song was written about him, Guitar George is still who you meet in person when you encounter him.
Sure.
How did
Dire Straits know about him?
Well, so Mark Knopfler walked into a bar in. I think it was. I don't know where it was. It wasn't Macclesfield.
Someplace.
Yeah, probably Manchester, and saw Guitar George playing with just ramshackle. It was like
so. It's a happenstance thing.
It was like a Dixieland jazz band or something.
Kind of like it
that.
happened with y'all.
And they were really enthusiastic about what they were doing, and even though they were, probably not on the level of Mark Knopfler, even at the time, but he was just completely taken by this.
Sure.
These guys who were just so enthusiastic to be playing in front of like 3 drunken college pukes or whatever, and that's the guy you meet in person, and he just happened to be there.
What a great guy!
And
now.
He's 75-ish probably,
yeah.
And then he wandered over and saw us, the two of us, play at this other bar. And
did you put Guitar George on the guest list?
No, he showed up on his own. Yeah. But he was just so cool. It was a gig I'll never forget.
So
really.
was your mix like all mostly English folks, or was it like all over the place?
Yeah.
Who comes to the Cavern Club? Are they expecting to see an international kind of?
There are a lot of Americans.
The Cavern Pub gig, which was a daytime gig, I think that was a bunch of tourists that had just gotten off the cruise ships, and they hit Matthew Street and just wandered in. We actually had a pretty nice crowd in there.
Yeah, and that was an add-on. The first time we played, I guess, was the add-on, that like 6 p.m. add-on. That's
my kind of rock and roll. 6 p.m.
So Alan and I, we played three times in a row at the Cavern Pub.
So by the end, you knew the song.
No, let's not go crazy.
So we started out at the pub earliest with
like
David Brookings. Adam and I played with David Brookings, and then Alan and I get on stage with this guy who is from
San Diego.
And the band is called
The Super Buffet.
But you had never met him before.
No. He just reached out through, I think, Bandcamp.
And you jived right in with...
Well, tell it better than I do.
So this is how he bills it. Look, I'm committed to this, but my band is dropping out. Somebody forgot their kid was graduating from high school that day. But there's this one song that it really works with a full band. And it's great when bands come to San Diego, they cover us. I'm like, sure, okay. What's the name of it? The Super Buffet theme song. Not to be confused with the Super Buffet intro. It's like, okay. I pull up the album. It's 12 minutes long. I find a YouTube version. It's only 11 minutes long. It's the same chord progression over and over
But
again.
it's an anthem.
Yeah.
And you can't get it out of your damn head.
No.
Don't sing it. Don't sing it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Are we going out on that?
Pete, if you are out there listening, buddy, we had a great time.
For 2 weeks, solid.
If you learn the first verse, you've learned the entire song.
Yeah.
He is the bravest son of a bitch I've ever met on a stage.
He cleared the room, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cleared it.
And we were a little concerned that...
You sure this guy's not from Memphis?
We were just glad that we were done.
You're done.
And we didn't have to follow that.
But we did.
We did.
Well, but hours later.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, the whole new...
so you had some
group of
bangers
folks.
and mash, and then
we did it with David Brookings and the Average Lookers. We followed.
That's
And
right,
it was
that's
just
right.
him doing the rest of his solo set on bass guitar. And he was covering Rat songs.
He did Round and Round.
He did a medley, which was mostly Round and Round, but had a couple of lyrics from
I
some of the
want
other
to see
songs.
that at the Cavern.
No,
It was
but
at the Cavern Pub.
yeah, it was
Oh,
daytime.
there's a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah,
astonished
this is not the
Cavern is still
underground.
there.
Yeah.
I'm just,
Well, it's not the original Cavern.
okay.
But they rebuilt it
Somewhere
using-
else.
No,
It's
like
they're pretty much right across the street.
Okay.
kind of in the same place.
The coolest portion, though, was the Casbah Club.
Yeah,
that was
for
the
sure.
coolest. That was
the
absolutely
highlight of the
coolest.
trip.
Yeah,
Anyhow,
absolutely.
Pete, I'm sorry if you
Aspinall
took that wrong.
thing.
Yeah, Rogue.
Yeah.
Can
Rogue
you
Best.
explain that real quick?
So Mona Best, she was the proprietor of the Casbah Coffee Club.
Pete's mom.
Pete and what was the other guy's name?
The Rogue was brother, I guess.
So Rogue was Neil Aspinall's son.
But Mona Best's son as well.
He was Pete Best's half brother.
Yeah, half brother.
Yeah. And then Adam ran into him. I think it was the same night that we played all those gigs at the Cavern.
It was
right?
the night we did the gigs at the Cavern, and we will see. I'll just leave it at that. It's one of my dreams to maybe bring this Power Pop Festival to the Casbah Club or someplace in Liverpool.
We loved Liverpool.
Yeah.
Just a great town.
So that hopefully we can kind of round robin that into this next European tour. So
Wow, that'd be great.
this is how we're doing music from here on out. But there'll be some version of this at least every other year, if not every year from now on out.
Yeah, you know how people have destination weddings? That's how we book gigs. Where do we want to go visit?
Yeah.
What, do they still have the accent?
Well, you don't really notice it after a couple of days, I don't think.
Yeah.
If you can understand them.
The coal of soot is not in the voice so much.
Yeah, I think tourism is the number one thing there
Accent.
now.
Especially in Scotland. In Edinburgh, I heard more American and Canadian accents.
It's just great that you guys could do that, and then you were like workhorses with jet lag and all that too, I imagine.
I'm still trying to get caught up from. I mean, I've been back almost a month now, and
Yeah, I went over early. I went into London, and my oldest daughter lives in the Netherlands, so she came over and met me, and we spent a day in London
And your
Dover.
daughter lives,
in Hamburg.
yeah.
and then the two of them hit it off. We met my wife.
I think
and-
they're going to meet each other in Amsterdam next weekend. Actually,
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, and you being a pilot, is it weird for you just to fly without having to fly the plane?
That's a whole nother story. And I'll say being a pilot in the back of a plane is a little like being a doctor on the operating table.
Wow.
Because you know what's going on. I will say this, the flight over there, Virgin Airlines was great. I mean, phenomenal crew, great flight, great experience, the whole 9 yards. I would definitely do it again.
and we're
The way
looking for sponsors.
So you guys are looking to expand the festival? Maybe make it more than one night?
not
We're
here.
looking to expand the rock and roll vacation.
Yeah, that's a better way to describe it.
So you don't want to expand it in Memphis, you just want to take it to new places.
I think that's a fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
statement.
What it is here is just, it's just, that's enough.
It's
Yeah.
just right.
It's
And like I said earlier,
Because Memphis is only going to appreciate it so much
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, it's just.
I don't want to turn it into a job because then it would not be a very.
You don't want to
good
turn it
paying
into a
job.
disappointment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just ruin the wonder of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you guys for being here. And Chris, that goes for you too. You're just like the whipping post. I love you, Chris. Without this guy, I
Wait,
would.
we've not told the Chris Swenson story.
Oh, Chris was
Yeah.
going to
How
have the going out line, I think.
I was.
So
Were you?
I don't know.
so in the early days
I can't think of anything to talk about.
of the
Oh my God.
when we were first putting together a live band, and this was before there was any talk with John about an album. We just knew we had the Power Pop Festival coming up, and we had committed to play it, and so we needed a set of
have a
about,
band. We didn't have one.
about 6 songs. I was playing guitar. Adam had recruited a drummer, and I recruited Danny McGregor to play bass. Danny is one of the most gifted musicians I know. He's by education. The music theory is his thing.
He's like the
math
flight instructor they bring up from the basement, and
But he did not enjoy playing bass.
Yeah.
And
no.
but
Does
we
anybody enjoy playing bass?
I don't know. I
McCartney didn't even
I liked
enjoy
it.
it.
Johnny
okay.
Norris does.
I liked it okay.
I enjoyed it. I just couldn't
on the
sing.
album.
I couldn't sing and play bass.
Well, I think of you as a bass player, Chris.
With some of the songs that I write, because I'm a drummer, when I'm writing them on guitar, I might have some weird, transition or whatever, but I don't worry about it because I know I'm also playing drums to this, so I know what's coming, and I can fit it in. Well, that's all in between my ears, and maybe I wasn't doing a good job translating that. So it's like, all right, Danny's not going to play bass, but Danny's in the band. We'll just have 3 guitarists. And Adam recruited Chris.
Well, that's not exactly how that happened. It was close. I recruited Boz, and Boz recruited Chris.
Oh, okay.
And that's how. So, why
And
don't you
he'll
call
still-
Swenson?
He'll still tell you that to this day.
And he'll absolutely tell you-
in that band.
We wouldn't be anywhere we are without Boz, believe it or not, as far as a live band goes. And I'm glad that he's been a part of it. That's how it always goes, and that's just how it goes. So,
And we needed people that could sing up front.
Yeah, and
I'm
and
not that person.
I couldn't. I can't sing and play bass. I can sing and play guitar all day, but not bass. I mean, I can play bass.
I mean,
but-
it's only 2 people on earth who can do it. I mean,
Yeah.
so, well, 3. I guess Paul McCartney would be the 3rd.
So Paul and Getty and
Paul and Getty and Sting.
and Sting, right? Yeah.
And that's
surely
about it.
Surely there's more than that.
Les.
Les Claypool.
Yeah.
All right, there's 4. But
Well, what about Roger Waters?
Oh, Gene Simmons.
I wouldn't exactly classify him as a lead singer, though.
So anyhow,
Okay.
we brought
Chris just rolled his eyes.
Chris in, and the rest is history. With the departure of Boz and me moving to drums, then we brought in Johnny Norris on
Yeah.
bass, and that's been the stable lineup really for the last 4+ years.
Except for the England trip.
Except for the England trip.
Jan Shoemake and David Brookings, which,
And I got to move back to guitar for one glorious run of shows.
It was,
tell you what,
it was really cool.
it was really cool. The version we took over to England or the UK was, I think, a more pure version of the music. because, as Alan says, he's a drummer that his guitar is kind of the second instrument for him that doesn't sing. So when he writes something, it is very unique, and it's very hard to kind of mimic what he's doing because he comes from such a different space. Mm-hmm. So, he can play these parts because he knows them like the back of his hand, and nobody else seems to be able to do it like he did. So it really was a more true version.
I would agree. And I saw you step up to the microphone a couple of times at the pub.
Yep.
And it didn't suck.
All right. Thank y'all so much for being here.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you September 5th at the Memphis Power Pop Festival at the Overton Park Shell.
Thank you.
And Nala says goodbye. Thanks.
It's 4 a.m., so says the clock, but I don't care. One day you were alive, then in the next you were not there. Now I don't know what to say, and yet I know I can't disguise the look you left for gone. Light turns to bone before my eyes. Heavens above me, while down here I'm still grappling. There's never a way it'll be okay. It's just what happens. It's just what happens. Whoever knows when it's time to go. Seems like we just got here. I always hope that it's just a joke and you suddenly reappear. Yeah, someday there'll be that moment when tomorrow comes for me. Now the bell that's ringing true sounds like there are no guarantees. Heavens above me, while down here I'm still grappling. There's never a way it'll be okay. It's just what happens. It's just what happens. All the little things, all the brand new days, all the setting sun. How the time flies by, how time flies by when you suddenly have none. And about what happened today, I just don't know what to say. Heavens above me, while down here I'm still grappling. There's never a way to be okay. It's just what happens. Just what happens. Heavens above me, while down here I'm still grappling. There's never a way to be okay. It's just what happens. It's just what happens. It's just what happens. Just what happens. Just what happens.